This is Weirdly Enough, your regular podcast for strange stories and amazing facts, delivered straight to your favorite podcast directory and at weirdlyenough.com. Now, here are your hosts, Andy and Len.
That's right, we're back again. I'm Andy Keane and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Len Johnson. Len, how are you?
Not too bad, yeah.
You're keeping well. Last week, if you want to check it out, if you didn't hear it yet, search wherever you get your podcasts. We recorded an episode all about dark tourism, so that it was a very interesting episode, and we went into like things like Belfast taxi tours and McKimmie Manor and all sorts of stuff like that. So wherever you get your podcast, do search for Weirdly Enough, subscribe to it, and you will find all our back catalogue. Just trying to go in and have a look at some of the older ones that we recorded over the time. We've got one there about ancient aliens, about hauntings in Belfast, Phantom Time. The Phantom Time one was very good. Crop circles and the 27 Club. And today we'll probably be talking about some people that maybe have entered the 27 Club. I don't know, but we're talking about celebrity conspiracies.
Yes, now there's some celebrity conspiracies that I'm hoping to go into in much more depth in future episodes.
Yeah.
Like, for example...
Drill down into them.
Deep dive. Because, for example, Fall.
Fall?
As in PID, Paul is dead.
Oh, yes.
That's the conspiracy theory that Paul McCartney actually died in the 60s.
Right.
And was replaced by up to 5 or 6 lookalikes.
Okay.
Who alternate the role at different times.
They go between them all.
Yeah, so they call it Fall, fake Paul.
Fake
but
Paul.
It's such a... I mean, people have whole books and websites, and it's such a deep thing. So I think Paul is Dead as an episode by itself.
Definitely,
because
well worth a bit of a look.
It's just such a deep one. I'm just gonna have a quick rundown of some random celebrity conspiracy stuff that's floating about, and then a little bit of more of a dive into a character called Donald Marshall.
Okay. Oh, that's yeah.
Have you heard of Donald Marshall?
No, I haven't. So I'm intrigued about who Donald Marshall is.
Not many people have heard of him. He's quite an obscure figure. If you want a bit of a strange one, you can follow him on Facebook.
Right. Okay.
Because his posts are mental.
Yeah. Posts are mental. Right, okay.
I wonder, is it Donald Marshall Jr.? I don't know.
Donald Marshall Jr. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I'm not too sure. But anyway, there's various conspiracy theories. I mean, the big one is doubles. Mm-hmm. Like, there's the idea that Steve Jobs was cloned.
Right, okay.
Another weird one I came across. Have you ever heard of the singer? I think it's Lorde or Lorde.
Lorde, yeah.
Lorde, that's the one.
Lorde, yeah,
now, there's an odd idea that she's not actually like in her early 20s. She's actually in her 40s.
Right, why?
Because the idea is that somebody of as young as that wouldn't be emotionally mature enough to write the lyrics. And also, some people say that, because this has become a bit of a thing, and she got a bit frustrated with us and shared her birth certificate to say, like, I'm only, like, young.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh no, it's been doctored. Yeah. So it's become this whole bizarre thing that she's actually in her 40s.
Yeah.
Another weird one. Have you ever heard of this one? Stevie Wonder actually isn't blind.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a lot.
Because I never heard about that.
Just for effect, really.
This is a thing that for about 60 years he's been pretending to be blind.
Right.
And the proof is that he frequently attends basketball games. He once caught a falling mic stand. He's interested in photography.
Okay.
What, as if you're blind, but
yeah,
a
why
funny
would you
one.
be interested in photography?
And other things are typically reserved for people who can see. There's another one that Brittany works for George Bush secretly.
Yeah.
And every time the Bush administration screwed up, they distracted the people with a Brittany scandal.
Okay.
So if there was some big mess up by George Bush Jr., we'll wail on like a Britney Spears meltdown.
Yes. Going back very quickly to what do you call him that was blind?
Stevie
Wonder. There's actually an episode of Jonathan Craig about a blues musician who pretends to be blind, and I think they're kind of taking a bit of a poke at that.
They
conspiracy.
could well be.
I think it might be called The Problem at Gallows Gate Part 1. So there you go. Yeah.
Now here's an interesting one. Now this opens up into the whole conspiracy theory by itself. Keanu Reeves is immortal. You know Keanu Reeves? You know, like Bill and Ted? It's the conspiracy theory that he's immortal.
Right, he's immortal. Why is he immortal?
And he's lived for thousands of years.
Right.
For a number of famous identities, because apparently there's like loads of images of people throughout history who look exactly like Keanu Reeves.
Oh, right.
And this has become a whole thing because there's like websites I've come across with like allegedly, you know, immortal celebrity. See, there you go.
Yeah, I've searched this on Reddit, and there's a load of pictures of Keanu
Reeves. But there's loads of ones. There's ones like Jay-Z is supposed to be immortal. There's like pictures of guys in like the 1890s who look exactly like Jay-Z.
Right. Okay.
Another big one. I'm just trying to think who else.
Keanu Reeves, isn't that it?
Keanu Reeves,
Yeah,
that's the one. Who's the other guy that you always come? Because this is the whole thing. If you look at immortal celebrities, it'll come up.
Okay.
It's not John Travolta. It's somebody like that. Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Yes,
yeah,
that's a famous one. Yeah, where there's
yeah.
loads of photographs of 3 different generations of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
There's another funny one with Vladimir Putin.
Okay.
And there's a picture of like, you know, like Russian soldiers of different eras and generations.
Yeah.
And they all have the face of Vladimir Putin. They're like exactly like him, you know. Another interesting one is the CIA murdered Bob Marley. Because he and other reggae musicians were working to alert the public of the CIA's attempt to bring down Jamaican Prime Minister Michael Manley. So that's a bit of it's more of a plausible one. That's kind of like the one where people talk about John Lennon was assassinated.
Yeah,
you know, by nefarious people. Here's a weird one, and this is this is bizarre. Have you heard this one? Beyonce has a sister, right?
Right. Okay.
Called Solange.
Yeah.
Right now, Beyonce was officially born in 1981. Solange was officially born in 1986. However, there's a conspiracy theory that Beyonce is actually Solange's mother.
Right. Okay.
And the Knowles family covered up all the details to avoid a scandal because they come from quite a religious family. Yeah. So that's the conspiracy theory that they're actually not sisters; they're like mother and daughter.
Would she not have had to be a bit older then?
Yes. Well, this is it. Apparently, according to this theory, Beyonce was actually born in 1974. Not 1981, and they faked a birth certificate, which would make her old enough to be your own mother, you know. Yes, that's an interesting one.
Even making the Mirror, of all things, this conspiracy about Beyonce and the
It's one I never even heard of, but apparently it's a big one.
Yeah.
Now there's another one where Tupac Shakur, he actually has loads of weird conspiracy theories to do with him. Tupac's death was faked, and it was an elaborate hoax, so the artist could escape to Cuba from his increasingly dangerous celebrity status. Because, as you recall, in the 90s, there's all these beefs between rappers. Yeah, you know, like East Coast and West Coast,
East Side,
all that sort of stuff. So this was all hotting up, and everyone was winding each other up. So he thought, "I'll duck out and I'll escape to Cuba and fake my own death."
Right. Okay. You know? So he's maybe still around, old Tupac.
Now there's a couple ones. Again, these are 2 ones that I will do a separate episodes because they're so big.
Okay.
Right. Stanley Kubrick, 1 year after he filmed science fiction classic 2001: A Space Odyssey in '68, he was hired by the government to fake the moon landings in 1969. And allegedly there's all this thing like, you see in films like The Shining, there's apparently always references to this whole story. And there's even other, I mean, Stanley Kubrick, right, we're doing Stanley Kubrick as a separate episode because it's just such a rich, fascinating, you could do hours and hours on Stanley Kubrick. For example, Eyes Wide Shut, they reckon he died shortly after he made Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise because it revealed the secrets of the Illuminati. Right. You know, all the kind of strange. Have you ever seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No, never. No.
It's weird. It's kind of like this really weird. It's supposed to be like, you say, right, Stanley Kubrick, all of his films are different genres.
Right.
So he did like a couple of war films, and he did a science fiction film, and then he did a sort of gritty dystopian thing with A Clockwork Orange, and he done like historical dramas and stuff. But whenever he did Eyes Wide Shut, it's supposed to be his erotic thriller. Okay, only like all intellectual, and kind of Stanley Kubrick kind of thing. So it was all about this, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, but basically Tom Cruise gets mixed up with these very kind of sinister figures. But the idea is that whenever he was filming all these scenes of what all the carry-on was, it revealed too much, right, of the secrets of the powers that be. So he was knocked off after that sort of way, and obviously, as I very briefly alluded to there, Paul is dead. Okay. The idea that Paul McCartney died in the 60s. Yes. And a succession of people. So all the stuff about him being barefoot in the Abbey Road cover. Yeah. See, this is why this totally deserves a massive episode by itself. Yeah. Because it really is a deep dive when you get into Paul's death. I think we definitely have to cover that sometime. Yeah, because... But we're just covering those very quickly, just to mention. Now, basically... the other idea I came across is all celebrities are members of the Illuminati. Okay. Which is basically the elite organisation, the known unknowns. Yeah. The secret rulers of the world, and that you don't really get very far unless you're involved with them. But again, that's one for another episode. But anyway, now this is a big one. Have you ever heard of Donald Marshall? No, but I'm starting to look into it now. It's about clones, is it? Yes, clones are a big part of it. Oh, there's Paul. Yeah, Paul is a.k.a. Billy Shears from Edinburgh. So Avril Lavigne is supposed to be a clone, and... Basically, they're all clones. There's another weird, talking about celebrity conspiracies. Have you ever heard it? Now, this will blow your mind. There's a big thing now. There's a conspiracy theory that all celebrities... Mm-hmm. or transgender, right? And it's the idea. Why? I don't know. It's for reasons. Yes. I don't. There's never but there's always kind of sites where people do these trans investigations. Okay. So they think that Donald Trump is actually a woman, and Beyonce is actually a bloke. Right. It's just totally bizarre. If you want it, it's funny in a way, but it does melt your head after a while. It'll drive you slightly insane. So all celebrities? All celebrities. Yeah. Not some, but all. Oh. For reasons that are never really very clearly explained, But yeah, Donald Marshall. Basically, he it's a sort of sinister twist on the celebrity cloning thing. Okay. Well, basically, this all started in 2011 when he put a post on Facebook. And a man only known as Donald Marshall typed up an incredibly long post talking about his life where he'd been held captive by the Illuminati. Right. And basically, it's just kind of mad, basically. But where's basically, he's from Western Canada. Right. Okay. Or is he from? No, he's from Eastern Canada. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Yes. Halifax. You can friend him here on Facebook. Oh, you can friend him. Yeah. But basically, all celebrities are involved in these secret societies, and they all meet in the deep underground bases, to participate in secret meetings, and they utilise top secret cloning technology to meet his clones. Basically, he reckons that human cloning technology has been around since the 1940s, and it's a way for world leaders to meet in secret in order to plan and discuss future events. I'm not really sure why they would do that, but over time they got bored and they began to clone famous people, actors and musicians and whatnot, and sports stars, and they're all cloned and delivered to the Illuminati to indulge their every desire, basically. And apparently there's all sorts of sinister crimes being committed, and how this all happens. This is I struggle to kind of get my head around this, but he says apparently there's a top secret technology known as RAM driven consciousness transfer, which is used to transfer one's individual consciousness during REM sleep and an identical clone located at a cloning centre many miles away. Yeah. So basically, say you fall asleep in bed at night, they use this technology to access your brain and transfer your consciousness to your clone.
Right.
So say, they were targeting you for some reason.
Yes.
There would be like a clone of you in the dumb in the deep underground base.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so they use this. He doesn't really explain how this is done.
No, of course not.
But like every night, his consciousness has been stolen and transferred into his clone.
Right.
And then he's basically, there's all these like clones of like Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus and whatnot that like beat him up and stuff.
Right.
And also one of the things is he claims to be the real singer on all these records.
Right, okay.
Like, I think, is it Metallica and things like that? I can't remember which, but various bands, he'll come on and he'll say, oh, it's not such and such singing, it's actually me.
Yeah.
Or, rather my clone.
Yeah.
And he puts all these kind of very cryptic things up on Facebook.
Right.
As Marshall reports, I go to sleep at night in eastern Canada, and an hour later I open my eyes to find myself naked on a stainless steel rock at a cloning centre hundreds of miles away. While he doesn't know the exact location, Marshall thinks that the centre is built underground in Western Canada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At first, the first time this happened, he was very disorientated. He found himself lying in a room filled with computers, one nearby mouldering his brainwave patterns. And it's very strange. He sees himself as a bit of a whistleblower,
Right.
He's had a lot of trouble with Miley Cyrus of late.
Okay. What's he been doing to Miley Cyrus?
Well, apparently she's an evil clone that's been tormenting him.
All right. Okay.
And every night he has to go to the cloning centre.
Yeah.
And he'll put up these posts on Facebook saying, "Oh, I'm very worried because I'm going to the cloning centre." And are you looking at his stuff at the moment? It's pretty cryptic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Facebook. It's just a mad list of nonsense, really. And then
it's mad stuff. And there's a quote here. It says, Miley Cyrus was talking at the cloning centre last night. This is one of his Facebook posts.
Okay.
Saying that she's going to be needing songs and I will be making them. So basically what the problem is, she's come to him, or as it gets, it's very confusing, but basically his consciousness has been transferred to this clone in the cloning centre. And Miley Cyrus is there in the deep underground base saying, you're going to write these songs.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, all pop music from the past 10 years has been written by Donald Marshall.
Right.
He's a very talented bloke.
He's very busy, like.
He's exhausted.
I'm sure.
All the time, because he can't get a good night's sleep because he's been transferred to the cloning centre. And, some of these guys, I mean, Miley apparently is very violent with him.
Right, yeah, well.
But basically, he said, I said, no, I'm not going to be making any more songs. She said, yes, you will. I said, Miley, you're going to be in some lot of trouble in the future for keeping silent about an alien body snatching crisis. She said, I'll just say I was scared of aliens, and she chuckled. So yeah, it's pretty weird all this, like, But yeah, Donald Marshall. I first came across Donald Marshall because there was a guy, I forget the name of it, but there was a Scottish guy that did quite a good thing on YouTube about kind of weird stuff, and that's how I came across the whole saga of Donald Marshall.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. I see he's got a lot of books on Amazon. You can buy them on Kindle and stuff for like $1.
Right, I didn't know that. I didn't know he wrote books. What was
very strange book covers on them.
Yes, very strange chap.
Yeah, Britney Spears coming up quite a lot. Donald Marshall.
Yeah, Britney Spears. She's always in the cloning centre.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's been a lot of cures for cancer being found, and they're not being released and things like that. Yeah.
So all sorts of nefarious activity.
There you go. Very interesting. Celebrity conspiracies.
Celebrity. But like I said, we're just scratching the surface. But I think the two I want to do a deep dive into would be Kubrick and Paul. Paul's dead. Yeah.
I think we have to tread lightly.
Yes.
There's a lot of libel lawyers out there.
Yes, that's a good point. Actually, we better say we obviously don't believe that Miley Cyrus is like threatening the clone of Donald Marshall.
Yeah, but that's what he's alleging.
We should preface all this with alleged. Yeah. Because we don't want to get cease and desist.
Yeah.
Letters,
But all very interesting. I dive into the minds of people that come up with these theories.
But I didn't know the one about Stevie Wonder not being blind.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a lot. Yeah.
So that's actually quite a big one by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, we will definitely have a look at Paul is Dead and the other ones, the Kubrick ones.
The Kubrick has many different facets though.
In more detail very, very soon. I always think of Toast of London, where he stumbled onto the Kubrick set in 1969.
Oh yes, he said alludes to that.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah, indeed. We'll be back with our weird shorts just after this. Well, I know you've always said you need a side hustle these days, something to make a wee bit of money on the side, haven't you?
Everybody needs a side hustle.
Everybody needs a side hustle. Well, that's exactly what this metal worker from East Sussex has come up with. Until March of 2020, Jules Parker entertained himself by restoring vintage vehicles, but since then he's come up with a new business that he reckons will take the world by storm. Jules has launched a brand new range of lingerie for men.
What?
He hit on the idea after seeing his wife in lingerie and thinking it was bonkers that there wasn't a decorative range of undergarments for men.
Because they wouldn't want it?
He was fed up with the usual boxers and briefs, you see, so because he was influenced by punk music growing up, he never wanted to be told what to do, or for that matter, told what to wear. So he's decided to create this company called Moot, and sells all sorts of garments, including thongs, open back briefs, fishnet bodysuits, and even a crotchless tutu.
But how is it for men exactly?
Well, it's for men. It's shaped for men.
Oh, right.
I don't know, yeah. Jules explained to Lad Bible that
Lad Bible.
that you don't have to go back far in history to see a time when men wore statement fashion pieces like Henry VIII with his gold codpiece.
Yes.
He likens it to male pheasants, apparently. So there you go. You could get yourself some lingerie, parade up and down. Yeah. Titillate.
It's not working. Like, you know, does he have much take up?
I don't know. I don't really know. We'll have to go.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the
website,
face of Ian Brown. Kind of, he's looking very disapproving.
Yeah, that's my painting up there. And this is a story I've called Poo Batteries.
That's disgusting.
A dairy cooperative called Arla have developed a battery that's powered by cow poo. The cooperative produces more than 1 million tonnes of slurry annually from 460,000 cows, and claims that it's enough energy to power 1.2 million homes in the UK.
What? I don't believe it.
Why?
I just don't.
Well,
I'm just very skeptical.
The waste is turned into energy by a process called anaerobic. Sorry, that's it. Digestion.
How has it not been in the news though?
And it's thought a single cow can provide enough renewable energy to power 3 homes.
But would that's not solve the energy crisis?
It would, and it would also solve the problems with farming producing a lot of emissions.
Right.
But you know, those anaerobic digestion systems are real. I've been to one, and it wasn't doing poo; it was doing food. So food waste is taken to these, and they have like bacteria and enzymes in these big vats that eat it all down and turn it into gas, and then the gas is either sold to industry or used to create energy.
Well, so, your man that collect all the chips from Overspins could take them down there.
Yeah, exactly. They're very smelly places, but the batteries are called Batteries.
Right.
They're made by a company called UK Batteries. It's thought it could be a game changer if the government adopted it for renewable energies and to reduce emissions in farming. And this is and finally, an all-you-can-eat buffet. Never a good idea, but a restaurant owner in Changsha in China has been left fuming after a live streamer took on the all-you-can-eat buffet challenge a little too eagerly. This is Mr. Kang. He's been banned from future events at the Hamdani Seafood Barbecue Buffet after tucking away an astounding 1.5 kilograms of pig trotters and 4 kilograms of prawns. He was taking full trays of foods rather than just taking a serving from each.
Yeah.
The angry restaurateur told the BBC that every time he comes in here, I lose a few hundred yen. Even when he drinks soy milk, he can drink 20 to 30 bottles. When he eats pork trotters, he consumes the whole tray of them. And for prawns, usually people use tongs to pick them up, but he just takes the tray away and eats that. Some people in China have taken to social media to condemn the restaurant owner, saying that he shouldn't have run an all-you-can-eat event if he couldn't afford it. So they're on the side of...
I like those way shorts because they raise more questions than they answer.
I know, yeah. It's
they do raise more questions than they answer. A lot of them. Like I'm still obsessed with the things last week. The 9-foot joystick.
Yes.
That, admittedly, that was part of an art exhibition. And the guy with all the chips, whatever spins, that sort of haunts me.
I know.
Where did they get those again?
In a wallet, a collector card wallet book thing. So it's like a big book, but with like little wallet.
Little mummified chips.
Yes. Very strange. Yeah, you can get Weirdly, our Weird Shorts podcast every Friday. Do subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to get that dropped into your onto your device every Friday, and you can listen to it, get you into the weekend. Weirdly enough, drops every Monday morning, very early. It's in the early hours. I think it drops about 5 a.m. or so, so it should be ready for a breakfast listen every Monday.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, we'll be back again next week with some more weirdness. Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening to Weirdly Enough. Remember to subscribe to get the latest edition as soon as it drops. And don't forget to leave a review. Email us about anything we've discussed or with your own weird tale at podcast@weirdlyenough.com.